calculating the rates from a graph. The speed or rate at which something changes can be analysed by looking at the gradient or the steepness of a graph. There are two common rates, which are kilometres per hour and litres per second. A rate compares two quantities. So when we talk about speed, the two quantities we compare are kilometres and hours, usually. Many rates show how a quantity changes over time. That's kilometres per hour, that's a time. Litres per second, that's a time. Sometimes we might not use it over time. The gradient of a line gives the rate. So to determine the rate from a linear graph, we calculate the gradient and we make sure that we include the units. So let's have a look at an example. We have a large container that's being filled with water. This shows our volume as time elapses. So as we see here, we start with no water in this container. We steadily increase the water in the container until now there's a volume of 60 litres in this container. We have a break for an hour, and then we add more water to this container until finally there's 180 litres in the container. You'll notice that it would appear that this amount of water going in here is going at a slower rate than this because it's steeper. This one is steeper, this one is shallower. So let's look at some values here. At what rate was the container being filled during the first 3 hours? So the first 3 hours start here at 0 and go until time equals 3. So we're looking at this section of the graph. We need to consider the gradient in order to work out the rate. So we will find the rise, which is 60, and the run, which is 3. So it's gone up 60 litres in 3 hours. 60 litres divided by 3 hours, 60 divided by 3 is 20. So my rate is 20 litres per hour. But you can see here in finding the rate, we have the rise, 60 litres, divided by the run, 3 hours. Let's consider the last 2 hours. That's this section of the graph. From here, when time equals 4 hours, all the way to 6 hours. Again, we're finding the gradient. We need to find the rise, 120, and the run, 2. So my rate is the rise divided by the run, 120 divided by 2 litres per hour. 120 divided by 2 is 60 litres per hour. So if you can find the gradient of a straight line, you can find the rate at which the quantities change.